It's not perfect, but rule of law is alive and well in America's courts. Hundreds of cases are heard in South Dakota alone each year. I'm Brian Haig with this week's It's a Matter of Law. In this case, a driver was stopped by a police officer speeding along an Indiana roadway. The officer suspected that the driver was intoxicated, so he asked the driver to take a portable breath test. Approximately 20 minutes prior to giving the breath sample to the officer, the driver had spit out a wad of chewing tobacco. The officer testified that before administering the test, he checked the driver's mouth using a flashlight. Additionally, the officer found no particles of chewing tobacco in the tube the driver was blowing into. Later, as a defense to the DUI, the driver claimed that the chewing tobacco residue left in his mouth invalidated the test results. How would you decide this case? May an intoxicated driver use a defense that chewing tobacco residue left in his mouth negates the accuracy of a portable breath test? We'll be back in a moment with the answer to that question. May an intoxicated driver use a defense that chewing tobacco residue left in his mouth negated the accuracy of the portable breath test? No, according to the Indiana court. The court held that Indiana law requires that one's mouth must be free from foreign substances for 20 minutes prior to taking the breathalyzer test. South Dakota courts have not directly addressed the issue of chewing tobacco, but the South Dakota State Chemical Laboratory Intoxilyzer Operational Checklist requires constant observation of the subject for 20 minutes prior to the test so that there's no oral intake of any material. In that the accused did not take any substance into his mouth within 20 minutes prior to the breathalyzer, the court allowed the breathalyzer test be entered into evidence and the defendant was convicted. Remember, it's a matter of law.